Today I want to show you my coin collection. I've had this since I was a kid. It's just grown and grown over the years, and all started with just finding those cool bicentennial quarters that you find every once in a while, things like that. And I loved it. It kept stretching on, and I have a good stack of the silver Susan B. Anthony. I think it's Susan B. Anthony. Silver dollars right there. And then I moved on to the gold realm of things, and I have the Sacagawea gold dollar. And then I ended up actually finding a Lincoln gold dollar, which I have specifically because, my son's named Lincoln. Then I moved on to other countries. Of course, the closest country for us is easiest to find are the Canadian. So I have a Canadian $2, which I think is pretty cool. I like these. Honestly, one of my favorites are the silver with the brass or the copper or whatever color, type of metal might be in there. Those are really cool. I have the quarters and the nickels and the dimes, things like that. And then I branched off, and over the years I've collected from Taiwan and Japan and Indonesia. Not places I've been, but places other people have been and brought home. And then I have some older pieces of coins. Honestly, actually, I'm not sure. This is definitely an older coin. Here, but and it actually goes along with this one right here, which is actually, I would say, one of the most unique pieces in my collection. It's the smallest, but I would say the most noteworthy. If we look at this coin, it is small. It's a little rough around the edges and not fully minted in that perfect circular hexagonal shape like other coins are. Maybe if you look at it, you go, doesn't seem like it's worth much. But I can tell you, it's very unique. If you'd have to guess, be curious to see what your thoughts are on how old you think this coin is. Some of you might say, oh, it's over 100 years old. Well, it is over 100 years old. But if you want to get more specific, maybe some people might say, oh, it's 400 years old. No, it's older than that. Maybe you might guess 800 years old. No, it's actually older than that. This coin was minted in Rome in almost the year of 200 AD. If you think about that, that's about 70-ish, 70, 80-ish years after Jesus' death and resurrection. This coin is almost 2,000 years old. And this coin is very unique. Let me tell you about it. This coin is very special. This coin shows up in the Bible multiple times. Well, not specifically this coin. I mean, I suppose it could have been, but I highly doubt it. Cool though, but I doubt it. Now, this type of coin is what is called a denarius. And it's very similar to a coin that would have been used in Israel called a drachma. Very similar, kind of like a Canadian quarter versus a American quarter, US quarter. Very similar. And so this coin shows up in multiple stories in the Bible, specifically around Jesus. But the story I want to talk about today is the story of the lost coin. And this is a parable that Jesus tells because he's trying to get a point across. In that story, he talks about this woman who loses a coin, and this coin is very special to her. Now, you might look at it and go, well, it's just a little piece of silver, it might be worth something. Now it's definitely worth something because it's old, but, it's just a little tiny piece of silver. Well, this coin was worth everything to people because this is what would be considered a day's wages back then. You would have worked all day. Maybe you worked at a shop or worked in the fields or worked as an apprentice at some sort of processing area. Who knows what you would have been doing? And at the end of the day, you would have gotten one of these. Very special. Very special because it was very important, because it helped you to live. It helped you buy the clothes you need, buy the food you need, buy the shelter, or at least the materials to build the shelter you needed. Maybe it helped you get across the sea to be able to see family, or to be able to afford purchasing something like a ship because you're a tradesman. Whatever it might be, this was your livelihood. This was important. And to that woman, she had saved 10 of these. I don't know about you, but even today it's hard to save money. So to think that she was able to save a week and a half's worth of wages, only to lose it, to have it taken away from her, to have it be no more. She was freaking out, just like you would. I mean, think about it. A day's wages would have been $100 to $200. It'd been, I mean, just imagine losing like your paycheck. And searching for that lost money. I mean, it doesn't matter. Maybe you make a little bit less money. I don't care. If I were to lose $60, $70, $80, I'd be searching the house for that. Actually, we misplaced some money, about that amount of money, about a month ago. And man, it was stressful trying to find it. It's not that the money in itself is important. It's that it allows you to be able to do the things you need to do to live, to support your family, and to live for God. Because, I mean, you die, then you can't serve God the way he wants you to serve on earth. Duh. So in this story, Jesus is saying this woman lost this coin, and she searches everywhere and finds it. And when she finds it, when she searches it, well, I lost it. I set it down. And oh no! There we go. There it is. I found it. When she finds the coin, she is ecstatic. She rejoices so much, she goes out and tells her friends and her family that she found her lost coin. Now, of course, we know in these stories that these stories aren't about the lost coin or the lost sheep like we just talked about last week. It's about more than that. Because these Pharisees who were trying to test Jesus or get him riled up or just complain, whatever it was they were doing that day, Jesus was trying to explain that it's more than just about the lost coin. It's more than just about the lost sheep. And it's more than just about losing things. It's about the soul. It's about the heart. It's about the person. Because Jesus wasn't talking about a coin. He was talking about a life. In this situation, Jesus, well, not just this story, but in the sheep story, he ends with, and God is even more excited. The angels rejoice even more when one lost soul returns to God. That is what it's about. We are the lost coin. We are the lost sheep, but we need to be found and returned. And when we are found, the heavens rejoice. There's a party in heaven every time one person comes back to Jesus. Now, I pray every day that my son and the people at our church don't become those lost coins. I pray that as they get raised, as I raise my son in the faith of God, that he doesn't wander away, that he doesn't lose his faith, and that hope that he comes back. I pray that he stays strong in the Lord as I did as I was growing up. But we know that there are lost coins out there. There are lost coins in need of salvation. And we are called to be the searchers for those coins. As Christians, we are called to go out and find those lost coins and bring them back to God. So I challenge you today to think about maybe when you're out shopping, or if you're able to work right now, or hanging out with your family and things like that. I want you to think about who are your lost coins in your life. Who are the ones that either have left the faith or maybe never even fully grasped the faith? And I want you to figure out, how can I bring that lost coin back to God? You might wonder, how? How do we do that? Well, we do what God asks us to do. We live our lives for Him. We share His love with those around us. Just like I always say, at the end of every one of these videos, we share Jesus and we show His love. And that is how we can bring the lost coins back.